Don't you know we're just starting? But you sure we got the clue how bad this we go? Don't you know no more art? And as I look to the horizon, not a cloud, but then stormy weather's go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done there, but the time is hit you, you're not surprised.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is Dspnews, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. No tagline yet. We are here with one of my favorites, Snort Burnell, Dspgaming. Negative cheers and uncovering the blank blank blank. I don't think that's the actual title. I think somebody around here was being a jerk. I don't know what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, negative comments. It's a day in the life for Phil. We all know this. He knows this. A lot of it's bait, to be honest. So I guess I'll make a talking point out of this and then we'll get into the broadcast. As it pertains to comments in general, if it's not kissing his ass, if it's not reassuring him of his humanity, it's bait. Out and out, it's bait. And he falls for a lot of, like, very obvious bait. If any of you guys have watched a Almighty Tevin stream, or Lightside Bill, or Theo's, or there's another channel that also streams his content. Sometimes James the Lessers. There's another channel, like I said, that sometimes streams Dave streams. You'll see during the cheering section or the begging section of it, he falls for obvious bait. Like obvious bait that's full of Detractor references, and it just goes right over his head, and it gets him talking for like 10 minutes about a whole lot of nothing. And I've always been enamored by it, slightly amused, but certainly enamored by his lack of self-awareness. But in any case, we'll get into that, and the other half of the title will be a mystery. We'll see what goes about it. Maybe they couldn't fit it on my sheet, so it is what it is. I should really get a teleprompter. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into the broadcast at hand. This is DSP News, always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Network Productions. You guys all know the slogan. I don't smell no bacon cooking. I don't smell no bacon cooking at all. And it's time to watch me work.
Warning everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
I like how you're laughing too.
Well, it's funny.
Sadly, we got Hardy Buck here who has done three negative cheers. First, he says that this Christmas week's been the worst ever. Why? Because I was sick. That's why. I couldn't do anything on Christmas week. Truth be told, if I wasn't sick, I would have been able to not only do a much better Christmas special.
That's 100% a lie.
I would have done a Christmas Eve podcast. I would have come back and done tons of multiplayer. By now, this week, I probably already would have done things such as my most disappointing games of the year countdown and game of the year awards. They probably would have already been done. Meaning that probably this week I probably would have started a new game or whatever, you know. I missed out on almost an entire week of streaming because I was so sick. And it sucks. And I hate it, but it's just the truth of the matter.
Do any of you guys really think he was going to do any of those things in the span of a week? And more importantly than that, the one thing that he definitely wasn't going to do was come up with the money for those taxes or for his bills for the beginning of January. No matter what he says he wanted to do, let's talk about what he was actually going to be capable of doing. None of the above.
That I lost all that time. There's not much I can do about that. That's called life, okay? So I understand you're a little upset with that, but I can't control it. Then Hardy Butch here again and complained about I talk too much about my problems.
I need your help. I need your help. I still need your help. I'm gonna need your guys' help. I really am. I'm gonna need your support. I need it. $1 a month actually helps and adds up, alright? As little as $1 helps, okay? Ayúdame, por favor. Es muy importante. The money helps me out tremendously.
Actually, I only talk about my problems on a pre-stream very briefly, and then I only talk about them again if someone brings them up. Keep in mind, this is an interactive stream. I don't always direct the conversation. So if the viewers direct it that way and I want to talk about it, then I will. So you're complaining about something that I don't control, and I don't really get where you're coming from. Then he asked me, did I call John Rambo on Christmas Day? Dude, what the fuck is up with you tonight? John Rambo, who made a really negative podcast about me over 3 fucking years ago, and made it clear that he basically didn't want to ever have any relations with me ever again.
That's your fault. It's your fault, asshole. I failed, you know. I failed.
Yeah, let's keep you there where you failed, because I feel comfortable with that, which is every day for you. So, John Rambo. Did he reach out to John Rambo? He probably did. He probably did it on the 23rd or the 24th, though, if I had to guess. Now, about him making a negative podcast about you. Let's be perfectly honest, ladies and gentlemen, because we've gone over this already in a Gout and Wine. I laid out the whole timeline. The whole timeline was laid out in that. 3.5, 4 hours, or however long that was. John and Howard were responding to something that you said, Phil. You called them out. You said you needed them to act like men and whatnot. You were basically criticizing and chastising them like they were little helpless children and whatnot. And you basically try to shame them into reaching out to you. And they made a video responding to everything at that point. They wanted to lay all the cards out because they wanted to put it all to bed. And at the end of that podcast, they even they told you, if you want it, well, at least John did. Howard was like, fuck you. But John was like, but John said, well, no, I think Howard said if he reached out to him and apologized, but he would have a whole lot more to apologize to than just Howard. John said, you reach out to him, you guys could talk. And he would be more than willing to talk to you at any given time. He even explained why he didn't talk to you when he did, because he had shit he needed to worry about. And you were sitting here bitching at him about content. He was going off, he was doing his own thing, this, that, and the third. You stated that, because I went over your video talking about it. I laid it all out. So for you to sit there and say they made a negative video about you, yada, 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 that you try to have taken down, by the way, if you didn't have the original taken down. I can't remember if you did or not. You sat there and tried to have that shit suppressed. You this, that, and the third. Hey, Phil, let's talk about that unrecorded video response that you have that you never put out. Well, you recorded it, but you never put it out. What about that one? Are we ever going to see that? Is that going to be part of your 10-year retrospective? The lost John and Howard response tape? Are we ever going to get that? They did nothing wrong. You attacked them. They defended themselves. Period. And people took their side because what they said sounded plausible. And to be honest with you, your actions moving forward only cemented what they were talking about in that video. And even then, they didn't go in as hard on you as I thought they could have, or maybe even they should have. They still cut you slack. John and Howard, Howard was certainly the most pissed off, I thought, in that video, showed you still enough love that they didn't want to completely screw you over. They could have laid out some real dirt, and they never did. So, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. No pun intended. Then again, you're a horse stealer more than anything. Here we go.
And it's my fault.
Didn't want to be in my content. Obviously didn't want to retain the friendship from not doing something like that.
If I remember to, I'll try to put that episode in the that I just talked about. Whoa, in the little card up at the top. I've never used that card before, so I'll try to do that after the video goes up. Because as you guys know, I don't usually upload these. If not, I'll ask Asian GTG if he'll jump on that for me, or maybe I can get them to put in the end card screen. We'll see, and whatnot. If not, you know where it's at. It has its own little playlist and whatnot. So.
As I've said many, many times,
I was always the one to reach out to him and wait for him to, respond to me, and he never would. I'm not the one who needs to reach out. He is.
John was busy. He told you that he was basically in the middle of moving. He was trying to get his money together, so on and so forth. I don't know what his job situation was at the time, but he had real shit going on. And let's go back to what you were talking about on you reaching out to him and waiting for you to reach back. The dude was trying to get up to get to work the next morning. It was super fucking early. You were on your drunken 4 a.m. tweets and shit. He didn't have no time for that. You tried to do the same thing to Howard too. He had no time for that. And then when he finally reached back to you or whatever the case may be, the first thing I won't say the first thing, but the immediate thing after your beginning, hey John, how are you doing, is, hey, when can we get back to this content? What? It sounded like you needed him more than he needed you, to be honest.
I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct. You think I'm the villain? Go fuck yourself. If he actually feels bad about anything and wants to reconcile, he was the one who did the wrong thing, not me.
Oh, and that is true too. He did lose a shitload of his fan base after John and Howard left. He lost a decent amount of people after that. And then the response video didn't help him at all. Because then, people really started to open their eyes about that. Actually, if you go to, you can go to Big Boss, KOW archives. Anybody who has the video mirrored, you can pretty much find it. The original video, the original John and Howard response. You can read through the comment section. There's some gems in there. There's some gems in there. Because it makes me think, and like I said, you might have to ask Tevin or Theo or someone who's been around when that was going on. But I think Phil had their John and Howard's original video taken down. And then they uploaded it to like mega files or some shit like that. Or a file share or whatever. And then that's how it got spread. So, but if you look at the comment section though, you can see how people were like responding to it. Like, oh shit, Phil really did that? Oh wow. So, there you go. And that's probably why Phil was fighting so hard for John, because he had just moved, he didn't have his contract negotiated, and he was already going into a dip. And he was already in a dip, I should say. And he needed John. He needed John and at least, I say he needed John and Howard, but he definitely needed John to help get him on that upswing, because he knows, Phil knows, and I've been thinking about this a little bit lately, that if Phil couldn't get his views and his interactions and everything on the upswing, he was going to go ahead and go into another negotiation, if not be dropped by Machinima that following year. And Phil couldn't afford it. He knew he couldn't, because Phil couldn't afford that house when he went out there. He was already in a decline when he went out there and had pretty much no money saved up, essentially, So, like, him moving was the worst possible thing to do. The worst. But here's another thing I've been thinking about also. And I think some of you have been mentioning it in previous videos, or at least hinted to it. That if he didn't move when he did, he'd never be able to. He would never have a strong financial base, if he ever really did, to move. He would have never been able to do it. If he had moved maybe a year or two before, when money was just rolling in all crazy, that'd have been one thing. Or if he had saved his money from that 3-year run, which is 2011 to 2013, if he had saved his money during those years, saved a large chunk of it, then it'd have been different, because he would have had a whole lot more freedom available to him. But he didn't. YOLO, baby. And he went out there and spent to his little piggy's desire, if you will. And he didn't save anything. So when he finally did move, he was in a really desperate spot. And it wasn't just him moving, it was him and Panda moving. And he still had obligations, being that condo in Connecticut. You know what I'm saying? If he had saved up a bulk of his money in his better years, he probably could have paid that off ruckshot, at least over another 2 years or so, maybe 3. We'll say 4. Over another span of 4 years, and then just throw it off to the market. And if he has to take it out of, if he can break even, he breaks even. But he didn't. It was like, I'm surprised he didn't go to somebody who had some financial insight and ask some questions. But at the end of the day, Phil did what Phil wanted to do. Not what was the right thing for him. Not what was going to be good for him and Panda's future. And in turn, by proxy, him and Cat's future later on down the line, he did what he wanted to do, and in turn fucked up everybody. Dspnews.
And he needs to contact me, period. He's had my cell phone forever. The bottom line is he never gave a shit, because if he did, he would have responded to my messages to begin with, and he wouldn't have made a nasty negative video / podcast about me. Salt. That's all I can taste is salt. To begin with, he would have just talked to me like a man. So, 3 negative tweet cheers from Hardy Buck. What a shitty way to start the stream, huh? I don't know what the hell his problem is, but let's try to turn this towards positivity, shall we? And now, oh my God, he's doing it again. All right, this is it. Hardy Buck, after this, I'm not addressing your cheers or tweets anymore. Why am I toxic? More toxic. Every single day he comes in, he's toxic. Basically, the stream was very toxic.
I keep saying tweets. I'm not gonna address your cheers anymore if you're gonna be negative every single cheer. He says, would you admit the Christmas special should have been better? Dude, I publicly said the night of the Christmas special that it was bad, and I apologized. On Twitter, I publicly apologized for it and said that I wouldn't be drinking on stream anymore, that it just compounded my negative feelings about everything else going on in my personal life, that the fact that it wasn't going very well, people weren't.
But to be honest with you, you're a negative person. So if you're trying to take the step of not drinking on stream anymore, how about you stop drinking altogether? How about you do yourself that favor? I'm telling you, maybe a moment of clarity might work better for you. But you stop drinking on stream doesn't mean shit if you're just going to sit there and drown your sorrows after the stream. Maybe you should just stop drinking altogether. Maybe that's what you should do. Little piece of advice from a cute pup in a sharp suit. Dspnews.
The Christmas event made me feel even worse, compounded with the liquor. Like, all this is almost 2 weeks ago. Where the hell has you been? Where have you been, Hardy Buck? This happened almost 2 weeks ago. Where have you been living under a holiday rock? Is there a giant green and red rock that you were underneath and you missed out on all the stuff? I mean, since I came back from feeling like shit, being sick, things have been actually pretty good. So, I think it's time for us to relax. I think it is. I think it's time for all of us to relax. Alright? That's right, Christmas was so last year. Alright. So let's all relax. Alright? Alright. Sounds good? Alright.
Relax. Holy chamoli. Holy splamoli chamolies. What is going on? Why can't people just relax? Why can't people just relax? Relax! That's what I don't want on the stream. I don't want people running around like Benny Hill, going willy-nilly, acting chaotic, being all dramatic, being all crazy and you know, all wound up. Instead, we're going to be relaxed.
Oh! Benefit. And, where are we headed?
That is disgusting. Disturbing and disgusting. That's disgusting. Oh my God. Ah! Oh! No, that's disgusting. That is really nasty. You're right, Baby Man Gaming. I didn't answer your question about the Jonas Brothers because it was stupid. That's why. Because it was stupid. That's right, Burning Games. That is how I treat fans because we're joking. And we don't take shit seriously, and we're not all a bunch of oversensitive ninnies who, when we joke about stuff like that on stream, we don't all get up in arms and flare our arms above our heads like SJW warriors, you know, spouting their liquid shit all over Twitter about every little thing. Because we're actually, you know, mature adults.
What are you talking about? You do that. The last couple times you did that on Twitter, you got smacked up. To be honest with you. I mean, granted, it wasn't about social justice. It was about piggy justice for you, but either which way.
And we're not a little, you know, whiny babies here. That's why we can do stuff like that with each other. 'Cause people jab.
Really? How is it that when you went ahead and spouted off your piggy propaganda, and then people came at you constructively, you immediately went on the defense, and then when the people who came in who really decided to go ahead and put the pressure on you, put the boot on your neck, and keep the pressure on it all night and keep applying, you backed off? How does that work? You want to explain that to me a little bit? I'd love to know. Me and the audience would love to try to dissect that, or at least get some clarification. How is it that people? How is it when Swaggins was trying to joke with you last year when he was throwing all that money at you? You would be like, "Swaggins, you're starting to get annoying. Please stop." Looks to me like that boy Swaggins should have never came up off the porch. Should have probably stayed himself in the house. Just saying. So how about that nonsense? And he was trying to add to the streams, to his credit. Oh well.
Me all the time, so I have the ability to jab back if I want. It's fine. Toxify it. Yep, I'm toxic. And then you people, Phil's a toxic streamer. No, you actually you tried to make me look like that. Help! No. Time to fucking skewer that pig. That's right, time to skewer the pig.
Skin the little piggy, piggy, piggy. We're gonna get some nice pork belly bacon today. How about some back fat stew and Romano face? I said a delicious skewing all over the place.
What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. Phil's a racist. Phil's a scammer. DSP's a pedophile. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck.
This guy's a bitch.
I have a micro penis.
Oh boy, this is short. This is a little shorter than I thought it was, actually. Let's see here. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to take the L on that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this was a little shorter than I was expecting. My bad. So, cause you know, I want to try to make things right. Yes, short. I don't have another broadcast lined up just yet. Alright, so this is gonna be a 2 broadcast day then. So expect another video later on today. Okay, I apologize. I did not know this was going to be this short. Oh, I would have planned a little bit better. So there'll be another one after this. It's not going to follow this one like immediately, but you'll probably get it. I don't know. You'll probably get it in the span of a couple hours or something. So if this comes out in the morning, you know, maybe you'll get something from us for lunch or something, or maybe something right before dinner pops off. I think that's reasonable. Sorry about that, guys. As for his negative comments and whatnot, which is, like I said, circling around John and Howard, mainly John, because that's the catalyst. It's as time has gone on, and as Phil continues to hold his resentment against them, it only shows, and it only comes to prove what kind of individual Phil is. But not just that. It also tells the story, to be honest with you, of what's going to be in store for Cat later. Like with Panda, it was different. Like, don't be wrong, he's taking plenty of shots at Panda, especially after the whole emergency thing. As you guys know, that's going to be coming up in a future Gout and Wine or Wine and Doubt. That actually might be one of the next ones. And you saw the little pop shots he took at that nonsense. Lately, he's been pretty good about keeping his mouth shut on that. And that's because either the hush money he's giving her, or he's really starting to come to realize how much dirt she has on him, and he doesn't want that out there, whatever the case may be. With Cat, if Cat leaves, he's gonna air her whole shit out. Everything that he knows about her, he's gonna air out. He's gonna put it all out there. We all know this. And as the day goes on, we're already finding out quite a bit about her. And those situations back in 2013, for example. That'll be in a future broadcast. But he's going to air her out. He's going to air her out. Most definitely. He just aired out Panda on a couple of things. But he's definitely going to air Cat out. So if I was Cat, you should really take into consideration what's in store for you. Because that's the type of person he is. And even now, 3 years ago, he still can't let it go. John and Howard don't even speak on him like that. But yet, he still holds on to it. He's still mad about it. And this is something that I think most people may have missed, but I don't want you to forget about it. He is still waiting for the call. He's waiting for that one day that John or Howard or both randomly call him out of nowhere and be like, "Hey, Phil, how you doing?" He's still waiting. That right there is something interesting, I think. Now, I could be reaching, so, you know, you guys can let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Like I said, this is going to be a 2 broadcast day. Like I said, I apologize that the video's this short, so please forgive me on that. But I'll see you guys later on in the day. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News, always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Network Productions. I'm your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. I'll see you guys later today. And have a good day. End of broadcast.